Okay, so I was going to start this video differently. I mean, I had like a whole other thing planned, but I'm just going to be straight with you. Last month I was going through some old photos on my phone, and I noticed something kind of unsettling. There was this stretch of like 4 or 5 months where I had almost no photos, even no memories, and not because nothing happened. Every single day looked identical, and I couldn't tell you what I did on any of them. That bothered me more than I ever expected to. I'm not here to do the whole "your generation is addicted to phones" speech. You've heard it. It's annoying. And usually it comes from people who spend 3 hours a day watching a bunch of news. But I do want to talk about something that I genuinely wish someone had said to me when I was like 15 or 16. Not in a motivational poster way, just honestly. Because I think a lot of us, also including me, are missing through these crucial years of our lives. But the worst part is that we don't even realize it until one day we look up and go, wait, where did that time go? This isn't about hustling. It's not about becoming a CEO at 19. It's just about actually being here for your own life. So let me get into more details with a personal real story, though I'm embarrassed to admit this. So in 9th grade, I went through this phase where I was spending probably 5-6 hours a day on my phone, and I didn't feel like I was doing it. It just kind of happened. One video, then another, then somehow it's 2 to 3 a.m. midnight. And the weird thing is I wasn't even enjoying it that much, if I'm thinking now. Like if you'd asked me, are you having fun right now? I would have said yeah, but kind of. Though I wasn't, I was just bored. There's a difference between rest and avoidance. Rest actually recharges you. Avoidance just makes you feel slightly worse about yourself with every passing hour. And I think a lot of what we call relaxing is actually just avoidance with getting better. The hours don't feel wasted in the moment. That's what makes it dangerous. They feel neutral. But they add up. A year of fine. Whatever days is a year you don't improve at all. Here's something nobody really told me clearly enough. The conditions you have right now are genuinely unusual. I don't mean that in a cheesy way, I mean practically. You don't have rent. You probably don't have a job eating 50 hours a week. You don't have kids, a mortgage, chronic back pain, or whatever it is that slowly consumes time. At your age, you have very much time. And your brain right now is at a point where it absorbs things faster than it ever will again. And if you don't believe me, you will realize it later. For example, I started learning something new when I was 15, pretty casually, just because I was curious. 2 years later, it turned into something I was actually good at. Something that opened doors I didn't even know existed. If I had waited until I had time as an adult, I'd still be waiting. And I know a lot of people from your life say follow your passion, but that's not completely perfect. Because what it sounds like is there's this thing out there perfectly suited to you, and your job is to locate it, and until you do, you wait. That's not real. Nobody I've talked to who's actually good at something and loves what they do just found their passion one day while staring out a window. They started doing something. They were bad at it. They kept doing it and never stopped improving. Then one day they realized, oh, this is mine now. This means something to me. And that's basically how it works. It's built, not found. So if you're waiting to feel passionate before you start, you've got it backwards. Start something random. Something you're just kind of curious about. A skill, a hobby, a project, whatever. Give it at least 3 months of actual effort and see where you get. Worst case, you learn it's not for you and you try something else. Best case, you've accidentally built the foundation of something that defines the next decade of your life. Both outcomes are good. Now this one's a bit more specific, but I think it's still important. There's a version of teenage life that happens in real life. Messy, boring sometimes, genuinely funny, occasionally kind of profound. Late nights with friends where you end up having the most unexpectedly real conversations. Trying something stupid and failing at it together. Sitting in someone's car in a parking lot for 2 hours talking about nothing and somehow it's one of your best memories. That stuff is real. That's not really wasted time. And then there's the performance of it. The version where you're technically with people but everyone's on their phones. Or where you're living your teenage years through other people's highlight reels online. Watching strangers have experiences instead of going out and having your own. One of those fills you up. The other one just makes the emptiness a little quieter for a while. I'd rather have fewer, more real moments than 1,000 hours of content I can't remember watching, and I hope that's also you. I want to be careful here because I don't want this to turn into one of those videos that just makes you feel bad about yourself for 6 minutes and then sends you off. So let me say this clearly. I'm not talking about becoming a different person. I'm not telling you to optimize yourself or wake up early or delete all your apps. I'm just saying don't be absent from your own life. You're going to be 30 someday, probably sooner than feels real right now. And you're going to think about who you were at this age, what you cared about, what you tried, and what you were becoming. I want that version of you to have something to look back on. Not a perfect story, just a real one. A life you were actually in, not one you watched happen from the couch. You don't have to change everything tomorrow. But maybe today, close whatever you were about to open next and do the thing you've been putting off for the past 3 weeks. So just do it. Alright, if this one meant something to you, share it with someone. Not because I need the views, but because someone in your life probably needs to hear this too. I'll see you in the next one. Hope for the best.